And what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show, a very special CIF Southern Section Championship preview show. I know it is Thanksgiving Eve, but we could not let a week go by without previewing the title games. In fact, there's 14 divisions in the CIF Southern Section football playoffs, and 5 of those championship games will involve local teams here in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. So we wanted to dig deep a little bit on some of these matchups, preview the big games coming up on Friday and Saturday in the CIF Southern Section. And of course, if you win those games, your season's not done. You go to the Southern California Regional and maybe even a state championship game as well. So first, we are going to start in Division 1. The Centennial Huskies will take on Santa Margarita after they picked up another dramatic win against Norte in the CIF Southern Section Division 1 semifinals.
Inland Sports.
It's a Bass Athletics play of the week. The finish in this one, Dominic Catalano finding Kiabe Brown there on the touchdown. Centennial takes a 28-27 lead here after the extra point, so that tied it at 27. The extra point from Jaden Watt-Green was very important to give them that lead. There it is, 28-27 with just over 90 seconds to play. Modern Day did get the football back. They did get in field goal range, but it was not enough. They blocked the field goal. Centennial wins 28-27, the final score against Modern Day to get them back in the CIF Southern Section Championship game, the top division, trying to win their first title since 2015. As I mentioned, they are going to take on Santa Margarita at the Rose Bowl on Friday for the Division I championship. Let's go back to the semifinals. Bonus extended highlights from that huge semifinal win against the Monarchs, and it was dramatic out there. Check it out.
Inland Sports.
Yeah, just like the first time they beat Mater Dei earlier this season, the semifinal game was another dramatic finish. Huge win for the Huskies, 28-27, to send them to the Division I championship game. It'll be Friday at the Rose Bowl, and it's our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game. The Inland Sports Show will have coverage from this one on Friday night, as the Huskies look to avenge their one and only loss this season against the Eagles. Matt Logan did not coach in that game, so Centennial with a chance to exact a little bit of revenge and get that Division I championship. That's Friday, 7 p.m. at the Rose Bowl. Santa Margarita, your co-champion in the Trinity League, and of course Centennial from out of the Big West Upper. Our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game, D1 championship, Centennial and Santa Margarita. Now for the Huskies, they are back in the CIF Southern Section's top division championship game for the first time since 2015. And back then, yes, it was Anthony Catalano, the quarterback of that Huskies team, getting them to that championship game against St. John Bosco. In fact, that year, the Huskies had to beat Mater Dei in the semifinals, and then St. John Bosco in that championship game. You're looking at some highlights. In fact, that's Cameron Bynum of the Indianapolis Colts, the interception there. Anthony Catalano, J.J. Taylor, Javon McKinley. Man, that was a really good Centennial team. They beat Bosco at Angel Stadium for the Pac-5. That was the top division at the time. They called it the Pac-5 division. They beat the Braves 62-52. The final score. J.J. Taylor, he had 5 touchdowns in that game on the ground. He had a monster game for the Huskies. 5 touchdowns in all, 261 yards on 41 carries. It was a lot of J.J. Taylor in this one. And high scoring, too. I mean, 62-52. Centennial winning the Pac-5 championship at the Big A. They would go on to play for the state title against De La Salle, but the Huskies would fall in that one by a touchdown. But the last time Centennial won the CIF Southern Section's top division was 2015. Anthony Catalano was the quarterback. Now Dominic Catalano, his younger brother, the QB of the Huskies. Something about having a Catalano under center gets you guys to the finals and hopefully wins a championship. So Dominic Catalano trying to follow in Anthony Catalano's footsteps and win a CIF Southern Section championship. All right, so let's take a look at all of the matchups involving Inland Sports Show teams. And it looks like this: Santa Margarita Centennial Division I. We talked about that. That's the only Friday night game involving our teams. That's at the Rose Bowl on Saturday. And I don't know why, but the CIF Southern Section office did not do the Inland Empire any favors in terms of scheduling, because all of our teams, besides Centennial, are playing on Saturday night. So it'd have been nice to see San Jacinto and, let's say, Tahquitz on opposite nights, or Ramona and Hillcrest on opposite nights, or Hillcrest and Valley View on opposite nights, so fans could maybe see multiple games in one weekend. That's not the case. All eyes will be on Centennial Friday night at the Rose Bowl, and then a bunch of games on Saturday. San Jacinto versus La Habra for Division 4 at the new Menifee Stadium, or new MSJC Stadium in Menifee, I should say. That one's going to be awesome. The Tigers trying to win their first championships since 2022, just a couple of years ago. They had a really special team. In fact, head coach Eric Galeano said there are some players from that San Jacinto team that won the CIF title in 2022 that are on this team. Just not a lot, but a handful of those guys. Ramona will take on Valley Christian for the Division 9 championship in Cerritos. Ramona coming off a championship just 2 years ago in 2023. That was Division 11. Now they're in Division 9. Tahquitz and Hillcrest, an all-local battle in Division 10. Both of these schools playing in their first ever CIF Southern Section Championship game. Again on Saturday night, it'll be at Norte Vista High School. Hillcrest is the home team for this one. And finally, Valley View will be at home against Baldwin Park in Division 11. Now we're going to drill down just a little bit deeper on some of these matchups, including San Jacinto. Man, What a playoff run right now for the Tigers. And it's been, very stressful, I'd imagine, for head coach Eric Galliano. First you go and win in overtime at Bishop Diego in Santa Barbara. And then you need triple overtime to beat top seed Charter Oak. And then last week against Villa Park, you score a touchdown late in the game, only to see Villa Park come back down by 3, get to the 6-yard line. But the Tigers defense forcing the fumble. They recover, and that's your ball game, 18-15 in the semifinals to punch their ticket to the championship game. That is 3 stressful, dramatic games for the Jack to get to the finals in Division 6. In Division 9, as we mentioned, Ramona back in the championship game under head coach Ken Mashinsky. 3rd time in 7 years under Coach Mush. In 2019, they went to the Division 13 finals. They lost that one to Esperanza, 42-40. But in 2023, they did beat Riverside Poly. Remember, that was such a fantastic environment for high school football. They won the Division 11 crown, and that one went on to state, won that whole thing too. So Ramona, the 3rd place team from out of the River Valley League, trying to win another CIF Southern Section Championship. They will take on Valley Christian in Cerritos on Saturday night, trying to get Coach Mush his 2nd CIF title as the head coach of the Rams. Now, also from Riverside, we got Hillcrest. The Trojans will be playing for the Division 10 championship against Tahquitz. The Trojans under head coach Travis Carter, which Travis Carter played for Coach Mashinsky at King High School, so there's that connection. But Coach Carter getting the Trojans to their first CIF Southern Section championship game. They're the 2nd team out of the Sun Belt League, and they get to host. They're going to be at home at Norte Vista High School on Saturday night against Tahquitz. And this Hillcrest team, we're going to talk to Jeff Gorman in just a moment in our 2nd segment here on this championship preview. But we talked about the fact that in week number 9, they lost to Rancho Christian by a score of 7-0. And that was kind of like a big wake-up call for this Trojans team. They have been red hot ever since then. They had a huge win against Valley View in the final week of the season, and they have looked very impressive during this playoff run. But they got a tough task against this Tahquitz team. Tahquitz has really had a good season across the board from start to finish, and they're trying to now finish the job, try to get their first ever CIF Southern Section Championship. You're looking at video of their win against Santa Monica. It came down to the wire. Tahquitz getting a couple late scores, and then a big defensive stop at the end of the game. Santa Monica in the red zone. Tahquitz would turn them away to punch their ticket to the Division 10 final. So Tahquitz versus Hillcrest, that is going to be an incredible game on Saturday night at Norte Vista High School. It's still in the works. We're still trying to figure it out, but it looks like we're going to have coverage from that game on Riverside TV, a special Friday night pep rally, scores, highlights, interviews, especially from that Hillcrest versus Tahquitz game. So we will keep you up to date. Make sure you follow Inland Sports on social media, specifically Instagram and X. We will keep you up to date what our coverage is going to look like. We will for sure be out at Centennial at the Rose Bowl for their Division I game. Hillcrest trying to get guys at San Jacinto and some of these other games. So keep it tuned to Inland Sports Friday and Saturday night for the CIF Southern Section Championship games. All right, so that's just scratching the surface. We're going to take a very quick commercial break. When we come back, myself and Jeff Gorham are going to break down each of these championship games a little bit deeper, talk about some of the keys to victory for these teams, and we'll see who's going to bring home CIF titles by the end of Saturday night. All right, quick break here on the Inland Sports Show, and we'll be right back after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
School basketball season is about to kick off. I'm going to share with you guys 5 explosive exercises that hoopers can do for preseason. These are all explosive. Do them as fast as possible. Hit these twice a week between your practices, between your academics. Get to it. Let's go. Boost man.
Okay, we're back here on the Inland Sports Show. Coming up in our third segment, we are going to talk some high school cross country. We just had the CIF Southern Section Championships. The state meet is this weekend in Fresno. We're going to talk some cross country and an update on CBU men's basketball. They are 6-0 on the season. The Lancers won again on the road, and they've got a huge road trip coming up against some Power 5 schools, Power 4, depending what you consider Power 4 or Power 5 now. But big games coming up. We're going to talk about that in the third segment. But right now, it's right back to the high school football championship games this Friday and Saturday night. I'm now joined by Jeff Gorham. We are going to break down each of the matchups involving teams in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. Division 1, Centennial versus Santa Margarita. Division 4, San Jacinto at home against La Habra out at the Menifee Stadium, Mount San Jacinto Menifee Stadium. Division 9, Ramona at Village Christian in Cerritos. Division 10, Hillcrest and Tahquitz at Norte Vista High School. And Division 11, Valley View at home against Baldwin Park. Here is the Big Jeezy as we break down each of those matchups. All right, it is championship week here in the Inland Empire, and we're going to preview the 5 big championship games involving teams in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. We got the Big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham, to help me break them down. And, Jeff, we've got 5 of the 14 games that will involve Inland Empire schools, and we're just going to go numerically with the top one, and it's a big one. Division 1, Centennial taking on Santa Margarita Friday at the Rose Bowl. I know we're both big fans of head coach Matt Logan. Man, it would be so good to see him back on top with a CIF championship.
Well, I mean, you look at what he's done at Centennial. It's a public school. They've dominated these private schools. You know, they go into the Trinity League. They take care of business. They beat Mater Dei twice, who came into the season ranked number 1 in the country. They beat them twice, but they did lose to the team that they're playing in the finals. Against a Carson Palmer-led team that beat Centennial without Matt Logan, which is kind of a caveat of what we're going to see on Friday night. I don't think they can beat Centennial. I firmly believe with Matt Logan at the helm, the Catalano boy, who is just one of the premier quarterbacks in the area, not a superstar by any means, but one of the best teammates you can ever have. So I think Centennial is going to have a real shot.
Yeah, not just a real shot. And maybe I'm just being a homer here, but I just feel like, man, Centennial is just playing at a level right now where they could beat anybody, whether it's Santa Margarita or whoever they went up against. And Santa Margarita, I had to look them up a little bit because I don't know a whole lot about them. I loosely follow the Trinity League, but they were co-champions in the Trinity League, which was very good this year. I mean, obviously, you know what you're going to get with Bosco and Mater Dei, but Servite wasn't bad. And, they made the Division I playoffs. Olu was, they had a pretty good season despite what their record said. Yeah, so I mean, the Trinity League was tough, and for Santa Margarita to win a co-championship, that was, I mean, I guess they're good. I mean, they beat Centennial earlier this year in overtime. So, but I just feel like Centennial, again, maybe I'm just being a homer, but I feel like, Centennial, if there was a favorite going into the game, they would be the favorite going into this game.
Well, I was in Santa Barbara the last couple of days with my family, and a little side note is I'm driving and I saw a car in front of me and it said Catalano Motors in Santa Barbara, and I said maybe that's a little foreshadowing what to come. But I want to talk about that young man. He's leading this team to another championship opportunity. He signed at a Division III university. How wonderful how great a story is that? Choosing not to go big. Maybe not get to play as much, but going and knowing that he's going to get to play at a Division III level, get a great education, and it just shows the type of kind of kid that Matt Logan brings in to Centennial.
Yeah, I think it was Pomona Pitzer, if I remember correctly, where Dominic was going to go. Yeah, and you know what? And speaking of the Catalanos, I brought up that video from 2015. I don't know if you saw it. I put it on social media when Centennial, the last time they won CIF's top division was 2015. It was called the Pac-5 at the time. It wasn't Open Division or Division One. It was called the Pac-5. And that year, they beat Mater Dei in the semifinals, and then they beat Bosco in the championship game. I mean, what a run that year. And Anthony Catalano was that quarterback, for the Huskies now. Now I think he's the associate head coach or assistant head coach to Matt Logan. So there's, the Catalanos have their fingerprints all over these CIF championship teams, whether it was a decade ago or even this year. So that's pretty cool too. That's another, storyline in this game.
Yeah, and it is funny. I can joke around. We can talk about, Jay Sarah's hiring their football coach for $250,000. Matt Logan makes about $5,300 as a stipend at Corona Centennial. And that his counterpart across the way, who won a Heisman Trophy, is probably making close to $500,000 coaching high school football. So, I mean, it's kind of a cool thing to say, hey, my 5,000 versus your, 500,000. So, and we all know, Coach Logan's a good friend of both you and I, and we wish him the best, and hopefully he can continue to do this for years to come.
Yeah, I hope he gets it done this year. It's just so many good storylines, with this game. The Catalanos, the fact that they get to play the team that the only team that beat them this year. They get another chance, to get some revenge. Logan didn't coach in that game. There's, Carson Palmer on the other sideline. There's so many great storylines with this game. It'll be Friday at the Rose Bowl. Our guys, Jacob Pedroza, Chris Chaddick, will both be there Friday night getting video and pictures and interviews. So make sure you follow Inland Sports on social media. We are going to keep you guys up to date every step of the way. So that's the Division I championship game. Now we're going to jump to Division IV. And we got San Jacinto actually hosting a game against La Habra, but it's going to be at Mount San Jacinto College at the Menifee campus. So that brand new, beautiful stadium near you, Jeff, on Saturday night for the D4 title.
Well, I'll tell you, Coach Galliano does a great job. I mean, it seems like they're in the picture every single season. They're in some form of playing in a championship. I don't know what they have out there, but they just bring in dude after dude after dude. It's one city, one town, one team. And, man, he's done a great job. Just a fantastic job.
Yeah, and with San Jacinto, when you look at their playoff run round by round, man, I'm sure Galliano's got a bunch of extra gray hairs after this one. I mean, they had to go to overtime up in Santa Barbara against Bishop Diego.
And triple overtime, I believe.
And then triple overtime the next round against the top seed Charter Oak. And then this past weekend against Villa Park, scoring a touchdown in the last 90 seconds, only to see Villa Park drive all the way down to the 6-yard line. So it looks like they're going to punch in the game-winning touchdown, and San Jacinto forces a fumble and recovers, and that's your ball game. So, I mean, every round has been this dramatic, crazy game for San Jacinto. So we'll see if that holds up. I mean, do they have another photo finish? Is it going to be another wild, crazy fourth quarter? I don't know. I kind of get a feeling maybe not. Maybe San Jacinto is going to be in the driver's seat for this one out there at MSJC, which, when they're at home, it's one thing when you're at home, but a neutral site game, I guess because they needed more stands or something like that. So they kind of take the home field advantage out of it, although I'm sure San Jacinto is going to have a ton of people out there in the city of Menifee for this one.
Well, that's the beauty. I mean, I'm telling you right now, that's probably the second best stadium, JC Stadium in all of California, but maybe behind Mount Sac. But that place is going to be raucous. It's going to be fun. And I think it's going to have a great home vibe. Hey, they have pizza out front. Tell me that's not cool. Anybody that has pizza before a game, a pizza oven in front of the stadium, your chances are you're probably going to win.
You're going to win. You're going to have a lot of people there, and you're going to win. All right, so San Jacinto versus La Habra, D4 Championship Saturday night out at MSJC, the Menifee campus. So remember, if you go to the old football stadium in San Jacinto, there's not going to be a football game there. You got to be in Menifee for that championship game on Saturday night. So that's Division 4. And here's the storyline, I think, with all these teams making the finals. Great head coaches. So we go from Logan to Galliano to Division 9 now with the Ramona Rams, and another guy that we have so much respect for. And we just really think highly of this guy. We love this guy, Coach Mashinsky of the Ramona Rams, getting them back to another championship game, Jeff.
3 championships in 7 years. I think that pretty much constitutes as a dynasty in high school football. Remember, he has not lost a non-league game in the last, almost 2 seasons. I think they lost in the first round last year of the playoffs, but they haven't lost a non-league game other than they lost to Ramona, or they lost to Norte Vista, and they lost to the Warriors,
your team.
which I have right here. But no, Ken Mashinsky does a best job of what he has every single season. He can morph into a running team. He can throw the football. He's got Jesus Gonzalez, who's playing probably the best football he's played this entire season. He had the best game of his life last game.
Yeah.
He can throw the football like he did in the second half in this game against Tahquitz. And you have Lorenzo Sims. You have Isaac Mata. You have weapons everywhere.
Mikey White is like, come on, strong. The second half of the
and
back half of the season.
Defensively, you got to think how good they are defensively as well. They just do so much. Troy Long is another guy we have to mention. Troy Long, who's been phenomenal through his entire career at Ramona. I think this is destiny. I think, Tahquitz is a very good team. Tahquitz can throw the football. They can run the football. But I just think there's too much. Low Sims, Jesus Gonzalez.
Well, Tahquitz will be D10. We'll get to that one in a second.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I was very excited. I was thinking about Hillcrest and Tahquitz. But Lorenzo Sims, they're just so dominant, and they play hard. They fundamentally sound. And the biggest part is they make the least amount of mistakes. They always have. That's a Ken Mashinsky stamp he has, is they don't turn the ball over, and they don't make mistakes.
So Ramona will play on the road at Valley Christian in Cerritos for the D9 final, which we've, very loosely talked about Valley Christian because they're in the same league as Aquinas. They're in the Ironwood League, so they were second place in the Ironwood League. But yeah, for Ramona, I was, Jeff, I was kind of trying to brush up on my homework for our conversation, and also hopefully we're going to have some great coverage on Riverside TV coming up as well. When in 2019, when they made the finals for the first time, they were Division 13. And then I think like those Bo Bruins, Nate Johnson teams, I think they were all the way up in Division 6, right? They got bounced way up. And then 2 years ago when they beat Pauley for the Division 11 championship, right? And now they're in Division 9. So they've kind of, 13 to 6. To 11, down to 9. So they've had some really good teams, and you can see since Coach Mashinsky got a hold of that program, not only were they, in a big division at one point, Division 6, but they were competing for championships almost every single season.
Yeah, and if you look at this year, the 2 losses they had in the league, it was by 1 score, and it was by a couple.
Oh yeah, they could have been 10-0.
Yeah, it could have been 10-0 very easily. Remember, when they won it the last time, they were an at-large and ended up going on to win the state championship. So maybe it's okay for Mush to get 3rd place in his league or come in as an at-large. I just don't think anybody can outcoach Ken Mashinsky. I mean, he took care of business last week to a team that really handled Norte Vista earlier in the play. I mean, dominated them.
Yeah.
They and Ramona came in and just hammered them. I mean, absolutely hammered Hesperia. And that shows that they've gotten better as the season has progressed. I think guys are healthy now. And I just think that Ramona is going to go on and win a second championship in a few years, which is kind of nice. But they asked me the first time to speak. Remember in 2019, they asked me to speak, and they lost. I said, I'll never speak again.
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm a Ramona guy, but I'm out. I'll talk about you on the pep rally and the games, but I'm not going to ever come talk to you guys because I'm a bad luck charm.
I'm out.
I'll show up and watch, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think that year was the crazy Thanksgiving where my family went to Ireland. I remember trying to stay up to date on the championship games. I think Ramona was in one. I think Temecula Valley was in one. But I think Ramona lost that game like 42-40 against Esperanza, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It was a really close game. Like they almost won that one too. So
yeah, you were rubbing your Blarney Stone over there.
I was, man. I was, with the time change, I was trying to stay up to date. I think I even recorded like a video from over there and posted on social media, congratulating. It was Ramona, Temecula Valley. I think there was one more team that was in the finals. Might have been Big Bear. I can't remember now. That was a long time
Big
ago.
Bear Bears?
That might have been. I don't know. I think it was, but I can't remember. All right, so that's Division 9. Division 10, I know you're excited about this one because it's the all-local championship game Saturday night at Norte Vista High School. It'll be Hillcrest hosting Tahquitz, and Tahquitz second place out of the Mountain Pass. Hillcrest, the number 2 team out of the Sun Belt League. Of all these championship games, man, I got a feeling this might be the best one of all. I think this is going to be a battle.
Well, yeah, it is going to be a battle, but I'll tell you, my favorite thing I want to tell you is that the Hillcrest is playing great football right now. I mean, fantastic football. He's another guy from the Ken Mashinsky tree. Travis Carter played for Mush. He was the last quarterback to get to the semifinals at King High School when he was just a player. But he does a lot of the same things that Ken Mashinsky does. They coach a lot, quite a bit the same. They tackle well, they're fundamentally sound, and they just have guys that are just studs. And, talking about Reyes Ortiz, if you get him going, he is a beast, a junior. He's thunder and lightning in a bottle. You have Matt Ramos, who's playing great as a quarterback. I think this is a destiny for the Trojans. I think Coach Carter's done such a great job. And working with him this summer, I got to hang out with him and read his mind a bit, or got to listen to him. He does a great job. Nicholas Shaw, another player that they have who is phenomenal. I think too much offense. You always talk about defense wins championships. I think if Hillcrest just puts the pedal to the metal and tries to score points, they should win this football game and get their first championship. They've only been playing varsity football 11 years, Pep.
Yeah, I mean, they're not that old of a school. Tahquitz really isn't that old either in the big scheme of things. So they're both in their first CIF championship game. Jeff, I'm looking at Hillcrest's their schedule this year. So I was at their game. I think it was week number 9. Is that what it works out? Yeah, week number 9. They played Rancho Christian, and I was at that game, and they lost 7-0. It was senior night, and they got shut out. And at that point, it was like, oh, man, hopefully we make the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was all these question marks that they might not even get into the playoffs. And I went out to a Hillcrest flag football game, a playoff game, and I just happened to walk past Coach Carter. He was walking, I think, from the football field to his classroom or the locker room, and I was like, how's practice going this week? It's like, this is must win. They played Valley View in week 10. Like, they had to beat Valley View to put themselves in a spot to, get into the playoffs. And he's like, man, it's really good. It's been really good. The guys know exactly what they have to do. In a weird way, I think losing to Rancho Christian 7-0 was a wake-up call. Maybe they had some come to Jesus practices that week where Coach Carter, got into him a little bit. But because they beat Valley View, was it 41-7? So they lost to Rancho Christian 7-0. In the games after that, they won. They beat Valley View 41-7, Monrovia 41-14 to open the playoffs. On the road at St. Margaret's 27-13 in a rainstorm, and then Pacifica 39-20. Ever since that game, dude, they have come alive. Hillcrest is playing at such a high level.
Well, and winning at St. Margaret's is probably one of the hardest places to play. It's a small stadium. They have bleachers on one side, so the fans are all mixed together. Basically, if you throw an errant pass out of bounds, you're going to run into a chain link fence. But that's a huge win. When I saw that they beat St. Margaret's on the road, that was huge. But Tahquitz can throw the football. They run the football. They're very, very balanced. So if you look at the numbers, they're pretty much equal. But I just think that the talent, and like you said, they just turned it on after that loss at Rancho Christian. And I just think that Coach Carter is worked so hard with his team. I think they're going to be tough to beat, especially at their home field as well.
Yeah, I just feel like something about Hillcrest right now, man. They're just playing they're playing their best football of the season, like right now. And Tahquitz is really good too. I mean, they've got some quality wins on their resume. They beat Liberty earlier this year. Terrell Strong is a great running back. Jacob Arbuckle, a great receiver. I think at least the championship games involving the schools that we care about in our coverage area. Yeah. Centennial versus Santa Margarita, I think will be a battle. But all those other ones, man, I feel like Tahquitz versus Hillcrest might be the most competitive. Like who has the ball last? It's going to come down to, who, not turning it over in the fourth quarter or something crazy. It's going to be a battle.
Well, hopefully Riverside TV will be there for our pre halftime and post game. And if we can get that figured out here in the next 24 hours, we could be there at the stadium. And that's the one game I circled. I'd love to watch just because I'm a big fan of Travis Carter and his team.
Yeah, we're still efforting and trying to make this happen, but the plan is, hopefully Saturday night we will have a pep rally live from Norte Vista High School for the Division 10 championship game. We'll do like a pregame show, a postgame show, maybe even a halftime update with Riverside TV. So we're trying to make that happen. And if we do, of course, we'll give score updates for Ramona and, San Jacinto and, Valley View, the other games, and hopefully some highlights from the Friday night game of Centennial at the Rose Bowl against Santa Margarita. But speaking of Valley View, Jeff, let's wrap this up. Division 11, Valley View will be at home for the Division 11 championship. Let me pull up their schedule real quick too. Valley View will be at home against Baldwin Park for the D11 championship game. Valley View is a team that, from out of the Sun Belt League, we talked about just trying to survive the Sun Belt, right? Poly was the champion, but for second and third place, you just had to survive and get into the playoffs. Once you got in, especially for Valley View, I feel like they're a lot better than Division 11, but they're in D11. You got to play whoever is in front of you, whether you're D11 or D9, but they're making a run to the championship game. It looks like I don't know, man. It looks like they're not going to be stopped.
No, and I think you and I covered their last big playoff push against San G a few years back when Dan Barledge was the head coach, and they ran that funny I formation where they put like 10 guys in line. It was one of the coolest things I ever saw. But Valley View coming out strong. I mean, they've got themselves a nice little power going on in there, and Movell.
Yeah, so and they get to host too. So championship game. Yeah, I saw some people posting on social media that they didn't get a lot of people come out to their semifinal game. So they're hoping that for the championship game, Black Friday, or not, well, it's Saturday, I say Black Friday, but come out, Thanksgiving weekend and Saturday night and pack that place, see if the Eagles can bring home a championship. In fact, Jeff, were you with me that year? So Valley View, they beat San G. That was a SoCal regional game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So they each won a CIF title. In fact, I think Valley View won it up at, was it Palmdale?
It was somewhere up there in the desert. Remember,
or Knight High School in Lancaster, something like that. They were up that way. So San G won a title. Valley View won a title. They played in the regional. Valley View won that regional game, and they hosted a state championship. I think it was one of the Bishop schools from up north. They had like a famous head coach. I can't remember it. So Valley View has hosted some like big games, CIF championship games or state championship games. But I know they're putting it out there on social media. They love to pack the place. And I'll say this as we wrap this up, Jeff. The CIF did not do the Inland Empire any favors because you got Centennial on Friday night, right? Which all eyes are going to be on that game. But the other 4 games involving IE schools, they're all on the same night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people who follow Hillcrest also follow Ramona, who might also follow San Jacinto, or if you follow Hillcrest, or Tahquitz, you might follow Valley View, you know, from the same league as Hillcrest. So it's like they're all playing on the same night at the same time. I wish they would have staggered it a little better. They didn't do the IE any favors.
No, and, you know, I'm going to pull the curtain back a bit. When we called the Hillcrest game last week, I'm getting texts from Jennifer Mashinsky wanting to know the score of Hillcrest just because she's a Travis Carter fan.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, Travis would go watch Ramona, and I know that Mush would go watch Hillcrest. So it does take away a lot of fandom because a lot of those coaches, they're all friends. They want to go support each other. They used to be in the same league, for gosh sakes. So,
yeah, when I saw the schedule, because, you know, in years past, they might stagger it, like the odd divisions play one night, the evens play the other. It didn't work that way. It was just it was like a mishmash. Like, they just had all these, you know, it was just kind of random. And when I saw Centennial stand alone on Friday night in terms of the games that we care about, and then the other four all on Saturday night, I'm like, oh, man. What about the IE football fans who want to see more than one game? Like, it's not fair. So
and Mike West is the commissioner of the
Come on, Mike.
and he lives in Riverside. I should have called him. I should have called him on the night before and said, "Hey, look, let me tell you how to do this." And then he couldn't heeded my advice.
Yeah. If you would have put Ramona and Hillcrest on opposite nights, and maybe I'd even say Valley View on the opposite of Hillcrest. And Tahquitz and San Jacinto too. Like, you know, Tahquitz is in Hemet and San Jacinto. Like, I'm sure that fans who care about football in that area, that pocket of the IE, you know, stagger those two games.
Yes.
Somehow, you know, but anyways, it is what it is, and we're hoping to bring you some coverage on Riverside TV. We'll definitely break it down next week here on the Inland Sports Show as well. But Jeff, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the quick break, and hopefully I will see you on Saturday night, man, for some more high school football coverage.
Oh, I can't wait. And remember, we can maybe get a state playoff game. We've done those before. Those aren't always hard to get, so it might be nice to see that. I hope you enjoy some turkey. I'm going to have turkey, ham, stuffing, yams. I'm not a big yams guy, but I'm still going to eat them because I'm fat. And then I'm going to have canned cranberries, you know, the slop.
Oh, yeah.
It comes out in a big, like, tube. I love that stuff. But I'm telling you, I'm going to put on a lot of weight. And Saturday night, I'm going to be dressed like Santa probably just because I'm going to be so damn fat.
You're going to be wearing sweatpants.
Sweatpants because my jeans won't fit. Well, I hope to see you Saturday night, Pep, and everything you do for the city of Riverside and for the Inland Empire. You're my best buddy in the whole world. I love you, and I hope nothing but the best for your family.
Nobody better than Jeff Gorham. And again, hopefully we'll see you Saturday night at the Hillcrest versus Tahquitz D10 finals. That's Jeff Gorham here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, good stuff with Jeff Gorham breaking down all of the CIF Southern Section Championship games. We will take a quick break. One more break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we'll talk some college basketball and CIF cross country. We just had the Southern Section Championships at Mount Sac. Next up, the state meet. And we've got a couple local runners hoping to bring home some state titles this weekend up in Fresno. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Bass Athletics in Corona, driven by passion and hard work, Bass Athletics helps student athletes push their limits, compete with heart, and build the discipline to succeed in sports, school, and life. For more information on the Bass Private School, visit bassathletics.com. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
a kid that he literally needed belief. He wasn't someone that was maybe as talented as people thought his brother was. He wasn't getting the same shine and the same attention, and he just needed the right place to bring it out. Everyone has different aspects that they need to work on, right? For some kids, they need to get bigger. For some kids, they need to get their academics up. For some kids, it's just overall maturity. But whatever it is, we're going to bridge that gap. We're going to get those gaps sewn up now so we can get you ready for when the opportunity does come, you're ready to meet the moment. And that's what development should be. I love to work with a kid who a lot of people don't see it right away. Maybe he just needs a little bit of work. Maybe he needs a little bit of belief. Once you put him in the right setting, put him under a barbell, you put him in the right classroom, and they shine, and that's what development is all about. It's not about where these kids are right now. It's about where they're going and how you as a coach can help them get there. I love doing that. It's the best part of my job.
Inland Sports.
He was absolutely incredible. Like we've been saying the whole year long, no one's talking about it. He's the best quarterback of the NFL right now.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's gotten better with age, dare I say. And again, we had all his health concerns going into the season with his back. He looks fine. Yeah, you know what? And he was hidden in Detroit for all those years, right? People said how good he was. It's like, okay, is he really that good? I know he plays for a bad team, but if you put him on a good team, is he that good? Listen, it's proof, man. They've won a Super Bowl. The Rams are the top team this year. Like, he is that good. He's healthy. And yeah, the Rams' young defense and that seasoned quarterback on offense, I mean, they look like the number one seed in the NFC. They look exactly the part. They, like you said, Patrick, stealing a line from, I think it was Bill Parcells. They are what their record is. They're the best team in the NFC.
Also, shout out to Clayton Kershaw, who did the intro to Sunday Night Football when he talked about him and Stafford growing up in high school, playing football and baseball together. That was super, super cool, dude, and very nostalgic feeling. I know for most of us here in SoCal, it was for us, but I thought that was really cool.
I saw that too. Yeah, I've known for a long time, they were lifelong friends, as children, growing up together. But to see Clayton Kershaw actually do that video, and it kind of clicked for me too. I'm like, wait, hold on. What if the Rams did win the Super Bowl this year? The Dodgers and the Rams winning it in the same year? I was like, oh, man, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, dude, totally crazy. Just funny to know that Clayton Kershaw was Stafford's center in high school.
Dude, Kershaw's a big guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's a pitcher, but if you look at him, he's a pretty big guy. So
yeah.
So the Rams are the number one in the NFC, 9-2 with that overall record. Listen, the Eagles got bounced by the Dallas Cowboys, who came back on this ferocious comeback. All right, and finally, some college football, man. We are getting dangerously close to the end of the college football season. The final couple weeks, we'll have the regular season games, your conference championship games coming up. For USC, it was a playoff game up at the Oregon Ducks, and the Ducks looked like the better team, man. They gave it to USC. 42-27 was that final score as the Ducks remain in the hunt, a duck hunt, if you will, for that Big Ten championship. And USC, Patrick, I don't see a path now to the college football playoff. I think they'll play UCLA this week. They'll probably get into a nice bowl game, but no college football playoff for USC.
Right. That's how, unfortunately, it looks for USC. And also Oregon's quarterback, he kind of struggled the last week or two. He woke up against USC, and he looked terrific.
And you know what? Remember, he's a UCLA guy. Dante Moore was at UCLA, so maybe playing USC means a little bit more to him than most of his teammates. So, yeah, beating USC is a big deal. And for Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, it's going to be one of those, two of those three teams playing for the Big Ten championship. I was hoping USC maybe had an outside shot, but they had to win. They had to beat Oregon. They had to beat the Ducks at Autzen Stadium. It just did not happen. Oregon is the better team.
And a tough place to play.
Inland Sports.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified on Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve. I hang out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning, but not tomorrow morning because it is Thanksgiving. But we do have a very busy sports weekend with all the CIF Southern Section Championship games taking place in football Friday and Saturday. We also have cross-country state meet up in Fresno on Saturday. We'll talk about that just in a moment. But CBU men's basketball 6-0 to start the season, and they've got a huge road trip coming up. The Lancers out at the Acrisure Arena in Palm Desert taking on the University of San Diego yesterday. And yes, those are their practice uniforms. I don't know the specifics, but they did not have their normal home white uniforms with them, but they did have the practice unis, so that's what they wore, and they still got the win. 76-61. Leading scorer, Dominic Daniels Jr. did not play in this game. He was injured in the previous game against Grambling State. He got hit in the face. I think he might have had a cut on his cheek or something of that sort, but he did not play in this game. CBU won anyways against Steve Lavin and the University of San Diego. So Coach Croy and the Lancers, they are 6-0 as they continue this huge road trip, which includes games at Oregon State, at the Colorado Buffaloes, against BYU, nationally ranked BYU at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, and then they'll finish up the road trip against the Utah Utes. Oh, and then they've got Eastern Washington before they come back home on December 16th. So some big road games coming up against some big-time teams. After that win against the University of San Diego out at Acrisure Arena, our guy Blake Arthur from KESQ out in the desert, that's the ABC affiliate, News Channel 3. We have worked with him and joined forces many times over the years. We do it every single football season. We help each other out in terms of our coverage and our individual high school football shows. Well, he was out there covering CBU. He hooked us up with a great interview with Coach Croy. So here's our guy, Blake Arthur from Channel 3 out there, KESQ, catching up with Coach Croy after that big win and improved to 6-0 in those practice uniforms.
Super proud of the guys. I mean, today was a very resilient effort. The game was choppy. San Diego was ready for the fight. They made several runs at us, but our guys had a huge response in the second half. Couldn't be more proud of our guys. A true culture team win.
You're going to adopt the practice jerseys on the road every game this season?
I told the guys before the game, this is what we do at 3:30 every day. This is our practice time, so we're used to it. But I couldn't be more proud of the leadership on our team. We're down several guys. It's a next man up mentality. These guys have a lot of pride in what they're doing. It was a great win for us for many, many reasons. Our goal is to get better the whole way. We got better today. It took us a while, but we found our competitive edge, and that's a big thing for us. We got a group that supports each other. They do it for each other. We think that's rare, but that's not enough. You got to keep getting better, and in all facets of the game. We banged the glass in the second half. That was big for us. We did a better job against press. Just keep getting better. We're going to have some real tough games ahead.
Appreciate you, Blake. Man, nobody better. Appreciate it, man. Happy Thanksgiving, and a shout out to Coach Croy and the Lancers, 6-0, as this road trip is really going to heat up against some big-time programs. Very excited about that game against nationally ranked BYU coming next week. All right, and how about some high school cross country and a bonus Bass Athletics play of the week?
Inland sports.
Let's take you out to the CIF Southern Section Division I Finals out at Mount Sac, and we had not one, but two local runners win the Division I championship. That is Braylon Combe from Santiago bringing home the championship. She had the lead, she gave it up, and then she took it back on that final stretch here, and she's going to cross the finish line as the Division I champion. Now she's going to try to win the CIF State Championship again. It's this Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend up at Woodward Park in Fresno. So Braylon Combe, a heavy favorite on the girls' side, and on the boys' side, Maximo Zavaleta from King High School, your CIF Southern Section Division I champion, and a heavy favorite to win the boys' state championship. So congrats and best of luck to Maximo and Braylon this week at the CIF State Meet up in Fresno. And speaking of cross country, we're going to have a longer interview with Cajon head coach Lun Son. Cajon boys cross country had a historic season. First time winning the Citrus Belt League Championship. First time as a program getting to the CIF Southern Section Division I Finals as a team. So a lot of great things happened this year for the Cowboys. We're going to have a longer interview with Coach Son on the upcoming Sports Weekly on IEMG. But here's part of our conversation, just talking about how great this season was. It was a special year for the Cajon Cowboys. Here's Coach Son.
there hasn't been a team that's made it to CIF finals from Cajon. And then for the boys to be able to do what they've done, it's just incredible considering, just what we talked about throughout the season, where last year the team didn't even qualify for CIF. We were the odd man out of the Citrus Belt League and whatnot for the top 3 teams to make it. And then for them to be able to do what they've done this year, to where our number 3, Isaiah Garay, he went from like a 17:30 to where he just ran like a 14:52 at CIF finals. And then our number 4, Jesse Zarko, another one of our senior who was in the 18s and such last year, for him to go from that to a 15:09 as his PR. This is uncharted territory for Cajon cross country.
Yeah, so Coach, in a season of, first and, a historic season, winning the CBL championship, getting to the Division I finals for the first time as a team, and then, you knew what you had to do, finish in the top 7 as a team to make the CIF state meet, and you guys came in 8th. What was the message to the guys, because I'm sure it's bittersweet because you guys had such a great season, but in that moment, you're like, we were so close to reaching state as a team. For us, it was a blessing to be wherever we're at and to have the opportunity to compete basically at CIF finals. There's not much I could really say, just to think about it. Like, I knew how much it was going to hurt them, and as well as, the parents, the community and things, along the way as we were making our run, we had the support of the administrators to where our principal and such, showed up for our meets and things like that, and just kind of watching us and just, wishing us luck and such throughout the season. Our athletic director was always there, and the parents and things like that hosting pasta nights. So it was like all these things rushing through my mind. I'm like, oh. So it hurt me a little bit more, not personally because, I've guided teams and such to this situation before. But since this is a first for this community, it's just, sometimes when you do everything right, it still doesn't translate into a win. And for them to battle the way that they did, like to come up, 22 points shy and 1 spot shy, basically of state, you can't be, anything else but proud of them. And, that was the message going into it, is like, for us to come together and the community and things like that we created. That's what I'm more proud of, was the fact that, like, from a bunch of eclectic motley crew bunch, that started in June to now, like, for them to mature as individuals, as people and things, it's, to get to the situation that we did, it's just a blessing. And there's a lesson such in this, and we're excited for track season now.
Always good to catch up with Coach Son, and man, what a great year for the Cajon boys cross country team. Again, more coming up on Sports Weekly on IEMG on the next episode. All right, that's going to do it for this Thanksgiving Eve edition of the Inland Sports Show. A big breakdown of the CIF Southern Section Football Championship games coming up on Friday and Saturday. We will have coverage Friday night from the Rose Bowl. We'll see Centennial can win their first championship since 2015. And Saturday, still working out the coverage, but we will have coverage from a bunch of the championship games on Saturday night as well. And best of luck to all of our local teams trying to bring home CIF titles. And if you do that, you continue their season into the Southern California Regional Round. All right. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.